What's good, guys? So I'm going to be taking you through a kind of a deep dive on how we were able to build a $1.28 million low ticket ascension tripwire funnel, whatever you guys want to call it, right? I call it a Trojan Horse offer, and I'm going to be walking you through my kind of unique philosophy and perspective on these kind of funnels, how to operate them, and really why they're meant to be built, right? Because I think a lot of people go wrong with low ticket funnels from the complete outset, you know, how they build the actual product and what they think, you know, it's actually intended for. Because I have a kind of different worldview or perspective on, you know, what they're actually built for, how to leverage them to the maximum, you know, to be able to give you the most leverage, and really just how to scale them, right? Because I reverse engineer the low ticket product with the main goal in mind. And the main goal in mind is to sell people into your high ticket program, right? To guide your prospects into your high ticket program. But we've built it in such a way that enables us to do it, completely for free. So we can completely self-liquidate this offer, meaning that we can run ads to this offer completely for free because, you know, we're able to liquidate it on the front end product and then generate profit on the back end product with the, you know, the high ticket purchases. And I'm gonna go in straight off the bat and just show you that this is actually what we're doing, right? So we launched a $5 product for one of our clients. You can see here we got $5 orders. We made almost 3,000 of these $5 orders, right? Now, if I go to our ads manager where we actually run this product, you can see that the cost per purchase was $2.64, $3, $3, $4, $5, $5. So you can see, you know, 5x ROAS, 3x ROAS, 4x ROAS. We were making profit on the front end of this product. Now, the main goal really with a low ticket ascension funnel, whatever you guys want to call it, right? I'm going to get into why we call it the Trojan Horse and what that's all about. But the main objective is to generate high quality leads, right? That are filtered and pre-qualified for your higher ticket offers. Now, when you can do that with a system that liquidates your ad spend, you're pretty much generating, you know, high ticket prospects for free. So this entire list that we had here of 3,000 people, these were pre-filtered, pre-qualified high ticket prospects that we can now nurture into our other programs, and we generated that list completely for free. So yeah, let's dive into the good stuff, guys. Like I said, this funnel we've generated almost $1.3 million with. I say almost, you know, we've done a bunch of revenue on PayPal, but obviously this is just what's shown on our Stripe account. This massive spike here where we did $78,000 in one day was during an offer that we launched. So that's why there's like some weird spike there in revenue. We're doing around $3,000 to $5,000 per day on average. So anywhere from like, I think that's like $80,000 to $150,000 a month. I'll drop a little testimonial snippet here from the client mentioning that we're doing 150K per month.
So right now I'm making 144, 150K months right now. I have to say it's been one of the best business decisions I've ever made.
Now we can dive, I guess, straight into the doc just to walk you guys through what it is that we're going to be doing in this video and what you guys are going to gain from it. So before we begin, the single most important thing you guys need to understand when building a high ticket offer is this. When building a low ticket offer, is this. When building your low ticket offer, think first with the end in mind. Okay, you need to reverse engineer the path towards your high ticket offer. Do not create an offer suite that has no interconnection or relevance to one another, right? We could take mine for an example in terms of like what I actually mean by this. When a lot of people are out there creating different offers, right, it usually leads to added complexity. And the way that we reduce that complexity and keep the simplicity of our funnel and our customer journey is by making sure that the products we create actually connect with each other, right? They logically, in terms of like your prospects ascending from one product to the next, that ascension is logical in terms of like the next step for them that they need to take. And it's not like two completely different transformations or outcomes that you're offering. So if I go into kind of the core operating system that I take my clients, my students through, it's pretty much this, right? And there are loads of different mechanisms within this. I'm not going to go through the operating system because I've done this in other videos, but what I want to mention or kind of refer to here is how I've created an offer suite that logically connects to my core flagship offer, right? So what we're talking about today is the Trojan Horse method. And the Trojan Horse method is actually a product that I've created which teaches you guys, which teaches, you know, founders how to create a low ticket funnel is what it really is, a low ticket funnel, which enables you to generate, free, pre-qualified, high intent, pre-filtered leads for your high ticket offer and funnel them into your other offers, right? So that in and of itself is a product that I've created. My very own low ticket offer that teaches you how to build low ticket offers essentially, because I've just been doing it for so long and I've done it with so many different clients. Now, this is called the Trojan Horse method. And ultimately, like the end goal is to help you scale your higher ticket offers. And that's what I do. I build a lean multi-entry acquisition system that attracts high ticket clients, builds deep trust at scale, and converts prospects into one flagship offer. Now, the Trojan Horse method, and for people who buy this from me, it allows them to kind of logically ascend into my flagship offer because everything connects into one transformation, right? I'm not pushing out loads of different transformations and loads of different outcomes. Like everything that I do, everything that I teach serves one transformation that my ideal clients, my dream clients are looking to bring into fruition, right? So everything has to logically connect with each other. Otherwise, you're just going to create confusion, not only with your own brain, but with your prospects as well. And if they're confused with regards to like what it is that you do, how you help them and all sorts of stuff like that, and what products to pick, ultimately that confusion is just going to lead to lower conversions, right? So that's one thing you guys want to do. Now, the real purpose behind low ticket offers, and this is what I see people getting messed up all the time, because you guys have probably heard of low ticket ascension funnels, tripwire products and all that sort of stuff, right? And you maybe have even tried one in the past for yourself. Now, I'm going to walk you through why you've probably failed at doing that and what a lot of people get wrong with this kind of process, right? Because like I said, there's a unique way that I kind of look at this and a unique perspective that I have, which has allowed me to do really well with these types of funnels. And I'll walk you through. So we obviously had this client, we've done over 3,000 orders for the $5. We've got a couple of examples I can show you here. So this client here, we had a $27 product. We've done over 3,800. And this client here, we had a $47 product and we've done over 8,000, right? So I'm pretty much just showing you guys what I've learned and what I've done from actual lived experience, right? This isn't just me regurgitating some bullshit online. Like, I'm in the trenches doing this. I've done it with loads of different clients in loads of different niches, and I'm going to walk you through how you can apply this knowledge to your own low ticket offer. So the traditional view is that, most people view these low ticket offer funnels as a quick cash grab or a list builder. My approach is different, right? The way that I look at building these types of low ticket offers is it's a great way to start a relationship, right? Because when someone invests in your ideas, when someone invests in your worldviews, when someone invests that hard-earned capital into something that you're selling, you have that undivided attention, right, for a brief moment. And that undivided attention can be leveraged and utilized in your favor quite well. So we have this secret underrated leverage that this Trojan Horse offer creates, okay? Because when someone purchases, they have a micro commitment, or they've demonstrated a micro commitment, right? And that unlocks the heavily guarded gates of that undivided attention. It's very hard in this day and age to truly get someone's attention because there are a lot of people out there saying the same shit in the same way with the same frameworks, right? And for some of you guys, it can be quite hard to stand out, right? So now that you have that undivided attention, you can introduce yourself properly. And this first impression matters more than you guys can imagine, right? So we want to shift from selling a product to mastering rapport, because when you have someone's undivided attention and they've invested into your product, right? Ownership bias, confirmation bias, we can use all of these psychological tactics to leverage that initial kind of moment of undivided attention and really leave our mark on them with a good first impression, right? Now, obviously, I've productized the Trojan Horse method and created like a mini course on it and everything like that. So I'm going to share as much as I can with you guys without obviously pissing off the people who have actually invested money into the program, without sharing absolutely everything. But what you guys can do as a first impression example, and this is for those of you who aren't going to be making thousands of orders, right, during your first week, is you can do a personal thank you video strategy, right? So anytime someone orders a product from you, you can have like a general script that you follow, but the video is personalized to them, right? And you can personalize it with their name, or, the easiest way I can imagine is just with their name. And you could include an exclusive bonus that is not mentioned in the funnel. So when you're creating these low ticket funnels, right, you typically use something called a value stack. So it's pretty much, or bonus stack. It's pretty much where you have your core offer and then you add bonuses, which, you know, increase the perceived value of that initial offer. So they're not only spending $5, $20, $40 on this product that you've created, they're also getting these other bonuses, which ultimately just increases the perceived value, right? Now, you're gonna include a bonus inside of this personalized thank you message. Again, just to mention, guys, like you can, if you want to, there are AI softwares out there that can personalize this for you and change like the name of the prospect for each video, completely done by AI. It's completely up to you whether you wanna use that or not, but regardless, you record these videos, you include a personalized bonus that's not mentioned inside of the funnel so that they see that, like, wow, like this is pretty cool. And that makes them feel special from day one, right? They've seen that you've taken the time out your day to thank them personally. It's not just an email that could have easily been automated. And you're also throwing in a bonus in there. Now, the reason why we throw an exclusive bonus in there is because based on the copy and the title of the video and the wording that we use in the email, it incentivizes them to open the video, right? Because they see this thank you video come through, they're gonna assume, just, you know, based on their experiences in the industry, that it's probably not gonna be personalized. So this bonus that you attach to the email, attached to the message, is gonna incentivize them even more to open it, right? And what this does is it over delivers immediately before they've even had the chance to open your product, guys. And it sets the tone for the entire relationship, right? They've invested in your ideas, you message them personally with a personalized introduction video, thanking them, congratulating them, however you want to promote it, right? However you want to position it. And then you also add in an exclusive bonus in there, which makes them feel seen, it makes them feel heard, it makes them feel appreciated, right? Because people buy the coach before they buy the coaching. You've probably heard this saying quite a lot, but it's true. And we're living in an era right now, guys, where I think personal connections with one another are going to be far more important as timing, you know, just begins to continue, because we have, you know, developments in artificial intelligence. There are many softwares and people you can hire now, guys, that will come out, record your content, and they can clone you, right? So like some of the content we're seeing on social media isn't even real people. And I think that I can go on a side tangent here, but I won't. But personal connections are going to be a real big thing, right? Moving into this next market shift that we're leading into. And also it kind of reminded me, like when I was coming up with this strategy, I read a book from Dale Carnegie once, Carnegie, don't know how to pronounce his name properly. And one of the things that one of the key takeaways I had from this chapter that I read was that he mentioned when you make others feel seen and heard, connection deepens fast, okay? And connection is really like one of the core elements of my kind of nurture strategy that I built. I'll go into it now real quick just to show you guys. So I have my like top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. Once we've built the foundations with my clients, we move into then obviously getting the traffic, nurturing the traffic, and converting the traffic. You know kind of how this shit works, right? And one of the core stages in my Activate engine, which is authority, connection, trust, identity, vision, alignment, testimonials, evidence, is connection. Because I think now more than ever, connection is very important, right? So this is gonna be a great way to not only build connection with your audience, but start that first impression in the right way and really leave your mark on them. And also just, you know, maybe increase the chances of them even going through your product, because a lot of people purchase low ticket products, myself included, and I don't even end up going through them, right? Because you can create your marketing in such a way that delivers that kind of impulse sale, right? Gets people to buy on the spot. And sometimes they don't even go through the product. So I think that aside from what I've mentioned here, like it actually incentivizes them to go through that product even more, because you've built that initial connection with them, right? And obviously if they go through your product, they're gonna go through the journey that we create for the Trojan Horse method, and going through the journey is gonna result in a high chance of them ascending to your high ticket offer. So everything that we're doing, guys, is engineered, you know, reverse engineering our main goal, which is guiding them into the high ticket offer. So what I want to say here as well is low ticket products are belief architects. Now this is maybe a new concept or a new perspective that is being introduced to you right now with regards to the way that I see low ticket products and how they sit in an ecosystem. So low ticket products are not just video courses, they are belief shifting assets, right? They are identity gap filling resources. They're silent salesmen for your ideologies and philosophies. So I'm going to give you an example of what I mean by a belief shifting asset and an identity gap filling resource, and how that could apply to your business in terms of how you build your Trojan Horse offer and how that would look promoting that in your offer suite. So for this example, I'm going to use a high ticket remote sales coach. Okay, so his offer that he created for the Trojan Horse is the 30-day closer map, right? Let's say he priced it at $9. The back end, in terms of what he's looking to upsell people into, is a 5K one-to-one hybrid coaching program for people looking to transition from corporate 9 to 5 into high ticket remote sales roles. Okay, so there are 3 combined belief shifts and identity gaps that we collapse with this low ticket product. Some of them, and again, I'm not a freaking high ticket sales coach, right? So this is just based on what I've created here. So some of their prospects, or his prospects, her prospects, whoever it is, could say, I'm not the sales type. So this is an identity gap that's stopping them from investing in this product, investing in this program, in this service, right? So the old identity would say, I'm too introverted or analytical for sales. And the new identity that we want them to step into is, I'm the exact personality type that dominates high ticket sales. Now, the belief shift that needs to take place is that sales success comes from systems and listening and not charisma. And that's solved with the quiet killer bonus. So it's case studies of introverted top performers and frameworks showing how or why analytical minds close more deals. So you're going to see, as we move into these different belief shifts and identity gaps, how you can potentially kind of frame this for your very own product or your very own audience. Because if I refer to my operating system, the process that I take clients through, the foundations are very important, right? And to be honest with you, like, I worked with a client recently, Amy, right? And we didn't even get into none of this stuff, like optimizing her top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. All we did was to make some, key changes to her positioning, her messaging, her content strategy. And that took her from doing $4,000 a month all the way to $30,000 a month. I'll put a screenshot up here on screen somewhere. And that was all within a 30-day time period. So sometimes, guys, like, you don't even need to worry about all of this stuff. Sometimes the biggest shift can come from just, dialing in on your foundations. And one of the most important things is obviously getting super clear on your ICP, right? Your dream clients, that psychographics, demographics, and all the kind of levers that you can pull with your content and your messaging that is going to get them to say yes, that is going to get them to buy. And when you understand this stuff, when you understand their current beliefs, the current identity gaps, and the shifts that need to take place in order for them to even see your product as a logical option, this is what makes the Trojan Horse so effective, because we can do all of this. We can collapse all of these, beliefs and identity gaps with this product that they've committed into your ideologies, your worldviews. And it kind of, like the name says, Trojan horses them into your high ticket offer without them feeling manipulated, without them feeling forced or anything like that. So we're going to step number 2. So belief number 2, is it would take too long, right, to learn this sales stuff. Now, the old belief is learning sales takes years of experience. The new belief you need them to step into is you can be closing deals in 30 days with the right system. Now, the shift that needs to take place is from beginner who needs years to fast learner who follows proven frameworks. And that's solved with the 30-day roadmap with week-by-week milestones. Now, the last one is I'm not experienced enough. So again, another identity gap. The old identity is I'm someone who lacks sales experience, and the new identity we need them to step into is I'm someone who uses systems to outperform experienced salespeople. Now, the belief shift that needs to take place is experience matters less. Experience matters less than following proven frameworks, and that's solved with week-by-week. And that's solved with a week-by-week map showing how newbies outperform veterans. Now, the cool part about all of this is that I created this right here, this product, this Trojan Horse, with my Trojan Horse Architect GP. And the Architect GPT is pretty much like an AI tool that we've created inside of OpenAI that is trained on all of the knowledge behind building Trojan Horse offers and what makes them so great. And I've basically added that as a bonus within the Trojan Horse course. Now, in terms of the output that has been delivered through this, I didn't go deep on the ICP. So when you guys create your Trojan Horse, I would suggest that you upload a big knowledge base, with your ICP, your offer suite, your niche narrative, the messaging that you use and everything like that. Anytime I take a client on board, whether or not they think they know about their ICP, their dream clients, 9 times out of 10, when they've gone through our workbook, which is 10 pages long on your ICP, they have super clear crystal clarity. Because guys, you know yourself, when you're doing content, when you're, pushing a message out there, if your message is for everyone, it's for no one, right? And if it's super clear for a specific dream client, they're gonna feel that, understand that, and they're gonna go from like seeing your content to really hearing and feeling it, okay? And sometimes that is all the difference that needs to take place. Like I mentioned with my client Amy earlier, she went from $4,000 a month, guys, to $30,000 just from shifting some of her foundations. And that was a process that took only 30 days. So the proof is in the pudding, guys. So let's move on to the psychology behind the Trojan Horse offer, right? So you can't sell someone without them being sold on you first. So you must sell your ideas, your worldviews, and your contrary opinions, right? And you package your methodology into a digestible format. If I go back to the category creators operating blueprint, you can see here, like this is the core operating system that I take people through, and it's basically chopped down into a few stages. We have building the foundations for the messaging, your general kind of identity, what you push out. And then we have the core operating system, which is getting the traffic, nurturing the traffic, converting the traffic, and then we have a scaling phase. Now, this is kind of the transformation I take people through, right? But I make it digestible by chopping it into different mechanisms and different stages. So one day I could be talking about the entry matrix and the different ways that we create leverage traffic. One day I could be talking about the nurturing process that I take clients through. One day I could be talking about how to create a single scalable asset that delivers your pitch, removes objections, and drives sales on autopilot, and talk about, how to create VSLs, webinars, or whatever it might be. Another day I might be talking about, elements of scaling, standardizing your course assets or systemizing your backend processes and delegating so you can scale without scaling stress and scaling your time, right? So there's loads of different ways that you can package your methodology to make it digestible, to give you marketing angles, to give you things to talk about that are unique to you. Now, a critical requirement for this to be successful, guys, in terms of the Trojan Horse, is to make sure that your Trojan Horse is based on evidence. Okay, so I didn't create a Trojan Horse product or the Trojan Horse method teaching people how to create these ascension funnels without any evidence, right? I've generated millions worth of dollars using this strategy. I've done it in multiple different niches. So I've pretty much gone out there, and bear in mind, guys, like when I started doing this with clients, it wasn't the Trojan Horse method. I had done this so many times with clients that I was like, holy shit, I need to fucking productize this knowledge, productize this strategy that I have, and show people how to do this. Because I truly think, like, amongst the other two kind of top of funnel strategies that we use, the Institute engine and the invitation ads, the Trojan Horse method is so effective because you're bringing in clients that are already sold on your ideas. They've already committed to understanding your point of view, right? And the methodologies behind your success. So you have someone like investing in you, going through your courses and stuff like that. So when it comes to actually, booking a sales call or confirmation call with these individuals, it's not like you're doing these fucking cold call funnels where you're trying to marry someone or propose to someone on the first day. Like, I don't understand why people still do this, like driving cold traffic to VSLs and trying to like one call close them on a 5K plus offer. It just makes no sense to me, right? You're going to be dealing with so much surface level bullshit, like low call show up for starters. And then when people do show, like you're trying to, force familiarity without kind of building that through the content and through them watching your content and stuff like that. And it's just, man, it's just a form of resistance, right? You're trying to force people into buying your shit or trying to convince them into buying your shit based on like your closest sales skills or whatever it might be. And it's just not a leveraged way to grow a business, okay? So everything that I build or everything that I have built with regards to this core operating system, like I just focus on leverage, what works for you as the founder, right? Because especially when you're scaling a business, guys, like you don't want to be fucking trapped in this shit. You don't want to be dealing with all of this surface level bullshit. So you must demonstrate that it actually works. You must have solid evidence, right? Because without proof, you cannot create conviction. You must demonstrate that your ideas actually work. So you need to ask yourself the big question, guys, right? If someone only brought your $5 to $47 product, which is the general range that I recommend for the Trojan Horse offer, and nothing else, if they only brought that, what impression would that leave? I want you to think about that for a moment, right? Because we need to balance this. And I'm going to walk in a moment as well, how to like give value without cannibalizing your high ticket offer, because I think that some people over deliver in the low ticket offer and some people under deliver. So I'm going to walk you through how to balance that equation, right? So you need to give enough value to shift beliefs and create aha moments, and enough to move the needle forward and maybe even get some results flowing through, but not so much that they don't need anything else. Okay, so what you charge for, $5 to $47 for is knowledge and frameworks, educational masterclasses on your method, and one pillar of your complete system like mine. So the Trojan Horse method is one element of this entire system, right? So look how small it is when you take into consideration like all the other things that I take my clients through. So there's a plethora of things that my clients are going to need to understand or build in order to make this entire system work, right? Now, what you charge $5,000 plus for is personalized implementation, individual specific knowledges, and direct access and proximity to you. If someone purchases my Trojan Horse method and goes through, builds out a Trojan Horse product, you know, they're not going to get personalized implementation by me. I'm not going to be able to personalize it to their niche, their offer, their audience. I'm not going to be able to give them direct access to me on coaching calls, you know, voice notes on WhatsApp, 24/7 access, whatever it might be. They're paying for the low ticket product, right? So they're going to get the course, the knowledge, right? The frameworks behind how to build it. But in terms of the implementation, people need to pay more for that. Okay, so you need to kind of think about how you're going to structure this for your offer. And I hope this is kind of giving you a bit more clarity behind that. Now, how to give value without cannibalizing your high ticket offer. This is very important. Okay, so there are going to be kind of, when we're talking about the value stacks in terms of when you're promoting your product on your funnels and stuff, you're going to want to increase the perceived value. So you're not just going to want to sell the Trojan Horse method. You're going to want to add bonuses. You're going to want to add resources and stuff that tie into the core product without cannibalizing the higher ticket offer. So let me walk you through how we do this. I call it the related but different strategy. So you're going to have your main product, right, which is the 30-day closer map. And bonus stack examples could be, again, this is referring back to the high ticket remote sales coach, LinkedIn outreach templates, you know, related but different vertical, salary negotiation scripts for corporate exits, remote work productivity system, professional network building checklist. And the result is that we get massive value across multiple areas of their career transition without giving the complete transformation in any single area. And there's actually a cool strategy behind this, right? It goes pretty deep. So they get incredible value across that entire, you know, escape the 9-to-5 journey, but they don't get the complete sales mastery, right? And that's what they pay $5K for, the access to you and stuff like that. They don't get the personalized coaching on their specific circumstances, and they don't get the job placement assistance and interview prep. And lastly, they don't get the ongoing support or guaranteed placement during that first 90 days. You know, everything that you do, the transformation that you guarantee inside of your higher ticket offer. Now, let me tell you what this does, you know, the related but different strategy. So it makes them first feel like they got $500 worth of value for $9 or however much you price your lower ticket offer at. It makes them indirectly problem aware. So like when we're talking about these bonus stacks, like they might not be aware that LinkedIn outreach is going to have to be a thing when they're doing this, or they're going to need to learn how to negotiate salaries to get the best salary, or they're going to need to learn how to be productive when they're working remotely. Like all of this different stuff, right? You're making them problem aware of multiple pain points in their transition journey, whilst forcing them to become solution aware when mentioning your high ticket upsell within these products, like the way that you build the program. So your course or products are silent Trojan horses for your higher ticket offer. You're making them problem aware of all of these different areas of the transformation whilst positioning your high ticket offer as a solution. So you're also making them solution aware. So now, what this does is creates urgency around the missing pieces they need for the complete transformation, and it positions the higher ticket offer as the logical next step, which ties everything in together. So let's talk about the psychology behind micro commitments. What happens when someone pays $5 to $47 for a product? First of all, we get commitment escalation, right? They've crossed the threshold from browser to buyer, and that's why I like kind of lower ticket offers compared to like freebies and stuff like that. They're more likely for larger commitments because of ownership bias. Now that they own something from you, they've invested in seeing it works, you get that authority transfer, right? You've got that undivided attention going through your content, your course, compared to creating a YouTube video like this or creating Instagram content. Like, no one's invested any money into this video, right? You're investing your time, but when someone invests money into something and they want the said outcome that you promise in that product, they're going to go through the program, right? And if they do go through the program, you have that undivided attention, and that allows you to just indoctrinate them in such a way that naturally guides them into your high ticket offer, right? So you're now acknowledged for your expertise and your specific unique worldviews or paradigms that you have, and they are more receptive to the next steps compared to just pitching someone on a cold funnel. A $5 to $47 buyer is exponentially more likely to become a 6K client versus freebie seekers, and not to mention the quality difference. Like, guys, do you think, let's go to some of the different Stripe accounts we have here, right? Do you think that, I don't know, let's take this one for example, a $47 buyer, we got over 8,000 of them. Do you think that someone who spent $47 on one of my lower ticket products is going to be more receptive, or your lower ticket product, for example, is going to be more receptive to listening to you or actually understanding and going through your content or looking into your high ticket offer versus someone who's downloaded a free lead magnet? Like, of course the quality is going to be different, right? Because they're buyers and not freebie seekers. They've already shown a level of commitment to solving that issue, to solving that problem. And that in and of itself speaks volumes, guys, okay? So one last thing as well that a lot of people go wrong when it comes to, you know, building low ticket ascension funnels is that they focus solely on the product and not the journey that your prospects go through. Because ultimately the only thing that's going to guide your lower ticket prospects into your high ticket offer is by engineering the journey, right? It's some of what you do in the low ticket product itself, but what matters most is the journey afterwards, right? It doesn't just end when someone purchases your lower ticket product. Some people think, and the common mistake is that the product is the journey, but that's not true, right? The reality is that the product is the entry point to the journey. And I've got the whole journey map, you know, created for you guys. For anyone who's in the Trojan Horse method program, I've mapped out the exact step-by-step process that you take after someone purchases your Trojan Horse offer to ensure that you're maximizing, you know, squeezing as much juice out the orange as possible, as they say, in terms of, you know, guiding people into your high ticket offer. So yeah, I hope that was valuable for you guys. As always, if you drop me a message or voice note on Instagram, I reply with in-depth voice notes. So if you have any questions about the Trojan Horse method whatsoever, be sure to either comment down in the comments on YouTube or go and message me on Instagram. I think my channel, my profile is linked in the description somewhere. And yeah, if you have any other videos that you'd like me to create with regards to the Trojan Horse method and how you guys can apply it, just let me know, and I'll see you on the next one.